Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn. How are you doing today? I thought I would share a little bit of a behind the scenes of how I made the backgrounds that I showed during Crafty Fun with Friends episode 8, where Kim, Delise, and I got a little bit messy and made our own backgrounds. And to get myself in that messy mood, I did have to practice at getting messy. And so that whole week leading up to that episode, I was playing with these sprays that I have. These are from Fun Stamper's Journey. I think they are discontinued at this point, but basically they are a dye-based spray. And so you can really use anything. There are lots of equivalent dye-based sprays out there. And all I did was just spray and I'm not going for full coverage, and also I wanted to get a little bit of movement. And so that's why after spraying initially with some color, I sprayed with just plain water just to get it more wet, and I keep tilting the spray or the panel down to get the what's been sprayed to start to move downwards, and that's how you get those streaks, the drip marks, and it's all very natural and organic. And then also from Fun Stamper's Journey, but I believe probably also discontinued at this point, are silks. This is a kind of a enamel metallic finish. It comes in these they're kind of like nail polish bottles, and they even have a nail polish brush. So really fun. So let me now move on to my second panel. This I will be spraying with two different colors. So I'm going to start off with this first color. It's a bit of a an orange, and I don't store the spray bottle top with my bottles. It's just more compact to store it a little bit just with the screw top lid. So every time I take the spray nozzle out, there is still some of the watercolor liquid in the uptake nozzle, so I just sprayed that out. So here I'll remove it. I'll splatter with it a little bit because there is some ink in there, and then I'll just continue to spray. You can get maybe one or two good spritz out of it, and still have some nice color. So don't waste that. And I don't mind sharing the spray nozzles if I'm going from a light color to a darker color in that same family. So this lighter orange, yellow, and moving into the darker orange, you saw that I just used the same spray bottle, but I'm going back lighter, and I don't want to contaminate my light color by dipping that darker color back in. And I did want a little bit of a more full coverage, so that's why I went back with my lighter color and added some more color at the bottom of that panel. And I was going for a little bit of a sunset vibe with this, so that was the inspiration for that one. And then I thought I would try this color. It's called Outrageous Pink. And so one thing with these spray bottles and some other spray bottles that I've noticed as well, if you push down firmly on the trigger, you get a nice fine mist. Nice, very wide misting, kind of like what I'm getting here. But if you pull down on the trigger maybe just halfway, then you'll get more splatters and more blobs, kind of like what I'm getting here, just like little drips that come out. So you can kind of control the effect that you're getting based on how you pull that trigger. And I did add some teal to this panel, but when you see the dried panel, you're gonna see that it's really quite different by the end of it. So how I like to clean my nozzles is I just dip the spray top into a jar of clean water. And again, why waste all of that wonderful pigment? All I did was I just sprayed it right on top of, this actually just happens to be the backboard of my watercolor pad. So don't waste that. It's nice thick cardstock. So I'll still use that, but you could also use just a fresh sheet of paper as well. Everything that I've been spraying onto has been watercolor paper. So I definitely prefer to use a nice thick watercolor paper because of just how much water content I'm spraying. I don't want to limit how much I spray based on the paper. So I know that watercolor paper will take as much water as I want to throw at it. Obviously to a certain extent, but cardstock would be a different story, and these watercolor effects may not react or work quite the same as they would on watercolor paper versus just regular cardstock. Usually with cardstock, I try to be a little bit more conservative with how wet I get it. So I definitely do keep in mind the substrate that I'm using and how heavy-handed I want to be with my watercolor effects. And so for things like this, I do, as I mentioned, like to use watercolor paper because then I can layer, I can throw as much water at it or as much spray watercolor at it as I like. So again, here's another two-tone panel. I have these little tubes, these kind of micro spray bottles that I mixed up previously, and I thought I would just use it all up. Now, the challenge with these a little bit is that it can be a little bit tough when you're running low to get every last drop out of it. So I just poured some more water into it. And yes, they'll dilute it a little bit. But then if you're down to the very last drop, as you saw, I just poured it right. I just poured the rest of it. Why waste it, right? So I just poured the rest of it along the top and trying to get everything out of everything really. So out of all of the spray bottles, out of the spray tops, and I want all of this color at the top there to be a little bit more solid. So I just used my finger to kind of swipe through that just to break the water tension and get that to move a little bit. And again, all I'm doing is just having fun. I'm not spraying with any particular pattern or any sort of order. I'm just really having fun and doing what feels right. So here is a little bit of a flip through of the how these panels look after they are dried. So that's my little behind the scenes for how I created the panels that I came prepared to craft with during Crafty Fun with Friends episode 8. I didn't actually end up making a card because all the three of us did share a background technique, and as Delise and Kim were sharing their technique, I was crafting along and learning what they were teaching during that live stream. So I didn't actually end up making a card, but I did just finish some cards using not just the backgrounds that I came prepared in advance with, but also with the backgrounds that I made using Delisa's technique, as well as the background that I made using the technique that Kim taught. So I'm reserving that as a member only video. So For my channel members, it's just a special treat for you. You get to see how I turned those backgrounds into cards. I will for sure be crafting more with these backgrounds, so you'll definitely see them in future videos. But this first set of cards will be a members only video. So join my channel as a member at the paper and media level or above, and you'll have access to that video. Thanks again, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.